personal opinion, do you think that that is a part of the total package that should be offered or could be offered?
Well, in a way, distance education gives you that opportunity if you work out the project you want to work on and the opportunities that you have to resources through Google and Yahoo and all these others that are available to you. You really have open access related to the project and what you're working on. And that starts in the elementary schools with youngsters that are learning PowerPoint and they're learning how to make presentations and they're doing that on Friday. You really have that open opportunity for yourself. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but we have access to libraries all over the place, free.
The concept of open courseware would be that we would make like Introduction to Psychology, that class, available free of charge for people to see the quality of education that's being offered here at Nova in that department. You wouldn't be getting a degree of any nature. It would be a focus of the opportunity to see what we're teaching, how we teach, what our philosophies are. But I also feel that one of the very important elements of it is a way to market the school, to say, look, we are not this diploma-ville. We really do have quality courses that are rigorous, engaging, and of substance. And it's not just sit in your seat and you'll get an A. It's sit in your seat, get ready to do work, and when you come out at the other side of this course, you're going to have an education in this division.
But you want me to provide that free?
Yes. Not all, and I'm not saying all courses. I'm just saying a select few, so that you sort of get a smattering of what the the academic community in this school is. MIT offers over 2,000 courses. Yale, Harvard, also a part of the consortium.
What is your name?
Kevin Keegan.
Kevin. Dan. I teach in graduate teacher program, social studies. There's not a lot of candidates in social studies coming down the pike, secondary social studies. So I have, as part of my proposed marketing campaign, the exact same thing, just one course, not even the whole course, just a, not the pertinent information that has to do with the university information, just what would you expect, those expectations of you, and what those course outcomes, what would you get as a result of doing this? So I believe as part of our website resources, a prospective candidate could come in there and look at that. It would be very helpful. They're on the website anyhow. If you Google, you'll see our syllabus out there anyhow. I'd rather give them the most current one, and one is the most representative of our program.
Precioso, what do you think about that?
I was just thinking, E. Thank you very much for giving me a DEA. I had no idea it was so damn good. But, the competition for business schools, and I think also for schools of education, is very high. And I think, what you described is perfect. I'm going through my mind right now, what course do I think we should offer that way in the undergraduate business curriculum and also in the graduate business curriculum. You probably all get this catalog, World's Greatest Courses, and I think that's a perfect example of this. They pick these world-class professors, they pick a content area, and they put them on CD and DVD, and they sell them for $269, but if you wait like I do, you can get them for $49, because they run sales twice a year. And I think from a marketing perspective, this is superb. But the second angle is it's a service to society for people who may not have an opportunity. You know, if every school did this, you could probably get the equivalent in knowledge and skill of a bachelor's degree without having a piece of paper. And as much as we believe in the paper because of where we work, I think for a society through its educational institutions to do something like that would be quite phenomenal. So that's what I think.
Yes, ma'am.
And I could suggest there is a platform, an open access platform, which has been created for a project such as this. It's called Academic Earth. And most of the Ivy League schools, they have their top-notch professors, presenting videos, and it's open access to anyone in the world. So you could try, creating the courses and posting it online.
Other comments?
Software industry's been doing that forever, right? The open source code. So maybe that's where they got the idea.
Well, Charles Wiedermeyer worked in this area and created the Open University in England, and from there it has blossomed throughout the world. And the Open Courseware Consortium is, Dr. Simonson, hundreds. Are you familiar with it?
Sure, thousands.
Thousands of schools throughout the world. The titles go on for pages of who's involved.
Any other comments?
So how is the transition to the, I know it started out so much with the distance education that you were so instrumental with, but how is the transition to a more traditional campus? How have you seen that, and how do you see that going in the future?
Well, the traditional campuses started actually with the law school. And it grew with the medical school. It grew with the School of Psych. The business school is moving much more into a traditional environment. There's a certain pressure still from the individual accrediting groups. So this institution has a blend. We have a blend of the traditional and what you might call not quite as traditional. And you end up doing it as best you can, but understanding that there are constraints from the old system that keeps you operating in this kind of nebulous area. And how far can you go? I think with the doctoral program, Nova pushed as far as we could go, as fast as we could go. But there was constraints that you had to fight in order to continue to do what you were doing if you believed in it. And it takes trailblazing like that to open the system and give it more flexibility. And it's not that one necessarily is better than another. With the distance education, it's much more convenient. It's much more convenient for the learner. And that's who we're trying to serve. So television did it in those early years. I don't see it on television now. But at one time we had television courses. Harvey White taught one, and others taught them in the morning. Before you went to work, you had television courses. I don't know of anyone that's not doing some form of distance education. Even Harvard now is talking about it.
Since we started as a graduate university with a doctoral program, what is your take on our efforts now for undergraduate education? I know that's a major priority now.
Well, it's the last piece that we have to fill in. We went from that end to the 0 to 5, so we had a big gap. And the undergraduate is, I don't know how much non-traditional activity is taking place in the undergraduate area, but they seem to be gaining more and more students, which is helpful to us because it represents the feeder to our doctoral students. But we're about 80% doctoral students and only 20% undergraduate. Yes, sir.
This is more just a comment. I think just to with what Mike Anderson is saying about how do we squash this rumoral idea, I don't think it's even knowledge in this room about the impact of Nova Southeastern University in bringing transformational change in other countries. Because out of Fischler School there was a professor that came to South Africa in 1989 and questioned the non-government organizational structures about transformation and racist policies. And as a result of his speaking at that conference, the whole NGO sector transformed itself and brought about change in the country through civic structures. And 3 people out of that movement in South Africa enrolled in the Fischler program, the Masters of LSEA. The 3 people, I will just share this with you, the 3 people, one of them is head of the Ministry of Children and Families in Canada. The other one is sitting right here. And the other one has transformed the Boys Towns movement phenomenally, and it's all recorded, it's documented what these 3 people have done. So I think with a view on Nova's 50th anniversary and your presidency, because this happened under your watch, it would be great to see what the impact of Nova graduates were, because especially based on the model of practicums, you were supposed to solve a problem in your workplace. What those people have done and collect those, which at the moment is oral tradition, but put it in paper format and it'll be a bestseller on the New York circuit. That's just my comment. And it's just amazing for me every time you speak to see how your vision is still unfurling and how, instead of dissipating, the passion is increasing all the time. So thanks to you.
It's easy to change your vision when you don't have to implement it. Someone offered me a presidency not too long ago. I said, you only do what I did once. You don't do it a second time. Anyway, I appreciate you coming. It gives me a chance to go back and think about the institution. And I promised that gentleman that I would have him ask me questions quietly. Thank you.